Hello everyone, today we are going to discuss about epithelial tissues. So what are epithelial tissues? It's the tissues that lie on body surfaces and internal organs, we call them epithelial tissues. Yeah. And then Okay. Epithelia is the tissues that cover the surface of the body and line the inner surface of internal organs. General structure of epithelia: cells densely packed with and attached to each other with very little intercellular space. Cells rest on a basement membrane on which the epithelium can grow and regenerate. Epithelial tissue is innervated, has nerve supply, a vascular, no direct blood supply, nourished by substances diffusing from blood cells but blood vessels in the tissue deep to the basement membrane. So yeah, let's be normal, and this is the general structure of an epithelium. So you can see the cells are tightly packed. There are no intercellular spaces. These cells are connected with using gap junctions, and those three types of cellular junctions are found in this epithelium, between these epithelial cells. So they are on a basement membrane. So as you can see, this epithelium does not have a blood supply directly, but the basement membrane, it's vasculated. That means it has a blood supply. So from that, the nutrients, oxygen gases, carbon dioxide, those stuff, and nutrition are uh, by simple diffusion, these substances go past these epithelial cells, and that's how they get nourished with oxygen and nutrition, and vice versa, carbon dioxide is written back to this um, capillaries of the adjacent basement membrane. So on the basement membrane, these cells lie, and then the nucleus is found also in the epithelial cells. Nerve cells, nerve supply is directly nerve supply can be found to this epithelium. So a nerve supply is available, but blood supply is not available. So this is the basal region. This is the basal lamina, and this basement is made of uh, reticular fibers and basal lamina. So basal lamina reticulum makes up the basement membrane. So these are the cellular junctions. Yeah, there are different structures of epithelium which we will be discussing in this video. These are the functions of epithelium. These are selective diffusion. So selective diffusion is done by lung alveoli. That's an example of it. And epithelia also helps in absorption in intestines, secretion in stomach. The digestive enzymes are secreted using this epithelium also. And the filtration also is a also the filtration is being something that's been done by kidney, and protection is also being done by skin. But the protection in skin is also done by epithelial cells, and filtration in kidney and secretion in stomach and absorption in intestine is also done by epithelial cells. Detection of sensation is also done by detection of sensation in nasal cavity is also being performed by epithelial cells. Selection of epithelium based on the number of cell layers and shape of cells and cell surface specialization. Based on the number of cell layers, shape of cells, cell surface specialization, we can divide this epithelial. So based on the number of cells, simple and stratified. Classification based on the shape of cells, squamous, cuboidal, columnar. So then we can further divide this stuff like simple squamous, simple squamous. So if there are two, this according to number of cells, according to shape of cells, and according to specialization. So simple, that there are three types of simple cell layers according to the shape. So squamous, cuboidal, and columnar. So this columnar can be specialized in surface cilia. And also if they can, one of them can have either surface cilia and then also surface cilia with pseudostratification. So those are specialization. So we can find several types of epithelium here. Simple squamous epithelium, cuboidal, cuboidal, simple columnar ciliated, simple columnar with pseudocertified, right? And then epithelium, if there are stratified, like more than cells, one cell we call it stratified. So stratified, again three types of them according to the shapes: surface squamous, cuboidal, and then also there can be something like changing of shape of cells. So the stratified squamous, it can be either with keratinizing or not without keratinizing. So stratified squamous, non-keratinizing, stratified squamous keratinizing, and also stratified cuboidal. And if it's changed in the shape, we call it directly transitional epithelium. Now we will be discussing about these 8 types of epithelium, their structure, function, and location. So simple squamous, simple cuboidal, simple columnar ciliated, pseudophyte columnar ciliated, stratified squamous keratinizing, and transitional epithelium. Now let's quickly go through them. So the simple squamous epithelium, it is single layer of flattened cell, flat disc-shaped central nucleus. So you can see these are flattened cell, right? Single layer flattened cell, and they have got a flattened central nucleus. Since they are really flattened, that means they are very thin, so they facilitate diffusion. So simple diffusion, and then exchange of, that means exchange of substances, and also filtration. So the two basic functions of simple squamous epithelium is diffusion and filtration. For diffusion, it's found in lung alveoli in the air sacs, and for filtration, it's found in Bowman's capsule and glomeruli, because these then Bowman's capsule and glomeruli, we know that ultrafiltration process happens. So filtration takes place. For that, we need thin walls. For that, Bowman's capsule and glomeruli is lined with simple squamous epithelium. And then also in blood vessels, we know that the alveoli are covered with these capillaries, right? So they also have to be thin, having a thin wall. So blood vessels also have to have these capillary blood vessels, have to have thin walls, because they also have to participate in exchange of substances. Oxygen gases, those stuff are being exchanged by capillaries. So inner lines of capillaries, and also lining of body cavities such as pleura and peritoneum. Peritoneum is the epithelium in the gut. So we call it, let's just Google it out. I'm not sure about it. Peritoneum mesothelium. Inner lining of abdominal cavity or colon. So it's the inner lining of abdominal cavity. You can see this is the peritoneum, inner lining of abdominal cavity, and also pleura, inner lining of the body cavities. Pleura, you know, pleura is the inner cavity of where the lungs are, body cavity. So inner lining of abdominal cavity and inner lining of thoracic cavity, that means pleura and peritoneum, is also being lined by this simple squamous epithelium. So there are 4 locations of it. So this is the histological diagram of this. This is what you will be presented. So which I have to figure out here is that um, this simple squamous epithelium, these are the cells. These are the simple squamous epithelial cells. So yeah, this is in lung alveoli. So they are no. These dotted in this pink are the cells, right? So let us go and form simple squamous epithelium in kidneys. Yeah, that's what we have to figure out, right? So actually, this is the alveoli itself. So these are the epithelial cells. So they are tiny here. So if we take a simple squamous epithelium, you can see that we have to figure out that it's got a flattened nucleus and um, flattened type of cell. So let's say epithelium. This is you can see this is the Yeah, so you can see this is the cell itself is flattened and the nucleus is a flattened. So that's what you have to figure out, right? These are not clear. Yeah. Mm. We'll go through it later. So this is simple squamous epithelium and in the simple cuboidal epithelium. So it's a single layer of cube-like cells. So this cuboidal, they are consist of cube-like cells and they got a large round central nucleus. So the two main basic functions of simple cuboidal epithelium is absorption and secretion. So absorption and secretion, so they are found in the tubules of kidney. So in tubules of kidneys, both absorption and secretion is being done. So because of that, the simple cuboidal epithelium is found in tubules of kidney and also in thyroid follicle. So thyroid follicle is a gland that secretes thyroid hormones. So that is that's a place where secretion is being done. So because of that reason thyroid follicles is also composed of this simple cuboidal and also linings of ducts of salivary glands and pancreas, surface epithelium of the ovary. So even surface epithelium of the ovary is a place where many secretions are secreted during several phases of the menstrual cycle, right? To keep the maintenance of its balls. So because of that reason, the surface epithelium of the ovary and the ducts of the salivary glands and pancreas and also thyroid follicles, tubules of kidney, four phrases, kidney, tubules, thyroid follicles, lining of ducts of salivary gland, pancreas, surface epithelium of the ovary, those spaces which secrete hormones, they are composed of absorption and secretion. So, secretion performing simple cuboidal epithelial cell. So you can see that has got a large central nucleus. That's a characteristic feature of this. So this is the distal convoluted tubule, proximal convoluted tubule. Those are the tubules. So the simple cuboidal epithelium in kidney tubules, you can see they got a large central nucleus, and that's a characteristic feature of it. Yeah, and the simple columnar epithelium. Simple columnar epithelium is single layer of tall column-like cells. Single layer of tall column-like cells, oval-shaped, elongated nucleus. Many contain goblet cells. So these simple columnar epithelium, they have a single layer of tall column-like cells. They have a oval-shaped, elongated nucleus. Oval-shaped, elongated nucleus, and many contain goblet cells. Usually, the nucleus is located towards the base. And then it's a single layer of tall column-like cells, oval-shaped, elongated nucleus base located towards the base of the cells, and they may contain goblet cells. So the functions of these are absorption and secretion. The locations these are found is gastrointestinal tract. So gastrointestinal tract means a place where you do this absorption and secretion, right? So to absorb nutrition, we find this simple columnar epithelium. So in stomach, intestines and in gallbladder, this absorption and secretion of digestive enzymes is being done by the simple columnar epithelium. The specialty is that it is found only in the gastrointestinal tract. Simple columnar epithelium, you can see this is it. So you can see this around this epithelium, around this intestinal intestines we find this. So you can see this on the basement membrane. They are tall column-like cells. Their nucleus is located toward the base of it. So they are found in the stomach, in the gallbladder, and in the intestines. Simple columnar ciliated epithelium. So simple columnar ciliated epithelium. This ciliated epithelium becomes important in the respiratory tract. Yeah. Uh, not in the respiratory tract. Simple column epithelium it becomes important in the fallopian tube to transport the ovum towards the uterus. In transporting the ovum towards the uterus, this simple column ciliated epithelium becomes important. So simple column epithelium with surface cilia, simple column epithelium with surface cilia also contain non-ciliated secretory cells. Uh, Non-ciliated secretory cells. Cilia are cytoplasmic. Uh, projections. So the secretory cells are there, so they are not ciliated. That's what it means. So cilia are cytoplasmic projections with microtubules. Each cell can have up to 300 cilia. Surface cilia propels fluid or small particles by beating in a wave-like manner. Surface cilia propels fluid or small particles. Surface cilia propels fluid or small particles by beating in a wave-like manner. The locations are fallopian tube, uterine tube, transport ovum towards the uterus. Surface cilia propels fluid or small particles by beating in a wave-like manner. Simple columnar ciliated epithelium. So the simple columnar ciliated epithelium, as you can see, simple columnar ciliated epithelium, this is the histological part of it. So the cilia is given the structure of cilia here. So it's a 1 micrometer structure. The peripheral microtubule doublet. So you can see the peripheral microtubule doublet here, and then the central microtubule doublet and radial spore and dyneum arm and neck sim link. So you can see the dyneum arm here and the neck sim link and the radial spore and the central microtubule doublet and the peripheral microtubule doublet. So it's the electron microscopic appearance of a cilia. Simple columnar ciliated epithelium in the uterine tube. So in the ovary tube, in the fallopian tube, these are found to carry the ovum towards the uterus. A surface cilia propels fluid or small particles by beating in a wave-like manner. So what's found in the respiratory tract is pseudophyte columnar ciliated epithelium. So it's also the ciliated epithelium but it's pseudophyte. So their function is a secretion plus propulsion of mucus. So this mucus is being transmitted to so this mucus is being transmitted to it's been transmitted to uh, this mucus if once you this mucus gets is a place where these microorganisms and bacteria that's coming from the air you inhale gets accumulated, and then this mucus is either thrown out of your body by coughing, or either it's swallowed into your esophagus, or just swallowed into your esophagus or gut. Because of that reason, the surface epithelium of the respiratory tract has to have cilia, which helps in the propulsion of mucus, the traveling of mucus, right? So this to sweep them off, this cilia is important, and also in secreting mucus, this secretory cells in columnar epithelium becomes important. So single layer of cells of different heights. So the pseudocytophyte means it's a single layer of cells, but they have different height levels. So because of that, it appears to be having several cell layers, even though it's actually one layer. All cells rest on basement membrane, only some reach apical surface. All cells are connected to the base membrane, but only some of them reach the apical surface. Nuclei seen at different levels. Cells reaching the surface have cilia, contain goblet cells. So there can be goblet cells. Goblet cells are important in secreting mucus. So they are found in respiratory tract. So you can see this is the pseudocertified columnar ciliated epithelium. So this is, you can see that. So as you can see, they say they have nucleus at different heights, but all cells altogether are found on the basement membrane, and they have cilia. So because of the nucleus appear to be several layers, several heights, at several heights it appears to be having several cells. So it's found in the respiratory tract in trachea and everywhere at bronchial trees and those stuff. Yeah. Then we move to the next part of it, stratified squamous epithelium. So the stratified squamous epithelium, yeah, in trachea it's found. Celiac trachea. Stratified squamous epithelium is several layers of cells. Cuboidal. So now we are going to move. We are done with simple squamous one. Now we are going to move to stratified squamous epithelium. So stratified several layers of cell, cuboidal basal cells, flat squamous cells on the surface. Stratified squamous epithelium basement membrane is, or the words important is, cuboidal cells are found in the below, and but on the top of the surface you find flat squamous cells, right? Several layers of cells are there. So the main function of this is protection. So it's found in oral cavity, pharynx, esophagus, anal canal. So we know that places where this tension or friction occurs, your mouth, right? You eat several substances. So oral cavity, pharynx is also a place there this tension occurs because once you swallow, there's friction with food items and your epithelium, right? So to prevent that, we need something strong. The protection is needed to your body surface. So for that, several layers of cells are there. A basement membrane composed of cuboidal basal cells, and up to the top, it gets composed of squamous cells. So esophagus also a place where there's friction, right? Anal canal, and also the anal canal and the vagina and the cornea of the eyes. Even eyes are exposed to many of frictional substances, air and those stuff. So cornea of eyes also is protected by stratified squamous epithelium. So this is the diagram of it. So you can see that basal membrane composed of cuboidal cells. So cuboidal cells have long elongated oval nucleus towards the base of it, right? And then on top of it composed of squamous epithelium, where we find this uh, flattened nucleus and flattened type of cells. So stratified squamous non-keratinizing epithelium in esophagus. So then stratified squamous keratinizing epithelium. So stratified squamous keratinizing epithelium with surface keratin layers, apical surface cells do not have a nucleus. So this, when it comes to the uppermost surface, this is the same as the stratified squamous epithelium with surface keratin layers. So the apical cells do not have nuclei. They are protection, so they are found in the epidermis of the skin. So epidermis of the skin, you can find this stratified squamous keratinizing um, epithelium. So stratified squamous keratinizing epithelium. As you can see, stratified squamous keratinizing epithelium in skin. There you find this. This is the keratinized layer which do not have a nucleus, and then below that you find uh, the granular cell layer with tight junctions. That means the squamous cells, and then forms a waterproof barrier. So the granular cell layer forms a waterproof barrier with tight chunks. So why is squamous cell found in here under the keratinocyte cell is because it forms a waterproof barrier with gap junction. So below that you find the cuboidal cells at this basal membrane, right? So that is the epidermis. So below that you find the dermis. So that's the stratified squamous keratinizing epithelium found in skin. So then the next one, translational epithelium. So the translational epithelium, it has 4 to 5 cell layers. It got cuboidal basal cells, and surface has umbrella cells or dome cells that may contain 2 nuclei. When stretched, intermediate and surface cells become fat. So The functions are protection from toxicity in urine, allows stretching. So for the protection of toxicity in urine and for allowing stretching, this transitional epithelium becomes important. So the locations are urinary tract. So in the urinary tract, in the ureter, bladder, and upper urethra, in the ureter, bladder, and in the upper urethra, this or in the ureterium, that means the urinary tract, this transitional epithelium are formed. So what's important here is that on the surface of it you find this dome or umbrella cells with two nuclei, and that's important in changing the shape. So when stretched, they change their shape. When stretched, they change their shape, which helps in prevent protection from toxicity of the urine and allow stretching. So when stretched, intermediate surface becomes so base is composed of cuboidal cells, and there are uh, four to five, uh, 4 to 5 cells there. So this is the umbrella cell. This is the umbrella cell or the dome cell. Ureter, it's found. Ureter, bladder, and urethra. Upper urethra, urethra. So the glandular epithelia that are primarily involved in secretion are often arranged into glands. So the epithelium that is primarily involved in secretion are often arranged into glands formed by proliferation of epithelial cells and invagination into underlying tissue. So let's go and talk about this. So what happens is, now first of all there's this epithelium cells. So they proliferate, that means rapidly they grow into more cells, proliferation and downgrowth into the connective tissue. So downgrowth is another term used for invagination. Proliferation and invagination into the connective tissue. They grow in number and grows down into the connective tissue, and then formation of duct and secretory part. These epithelial cells, they do the secretion, and then they form a duct to correct these secretions. Formation of duct and secretory part of exocrine glands. So gradually it develops this duct and secretory part of the exocrine gland. Then endocrine glands, what they do is connection with surface lost, receive blood supply, so thereby they become thyroid gland and adrenal gland. So they are called exocrine glands. So the ones that are still connected with the surface and they form a duct and a secretory part, they are called exocrine glands. So they are found in pancreas. So endocrine glands, they lost their connection with the surface, and then thereby they receive a blood supply. So that is called endocrine glands. So classification of exocrine glands. Glands can be classified based on, so now endocrine is this thyroid and adrenal, right? Exocrine is this one. So we can remember it by exo means having the connection with external surface. Right? So we can remember that. So that we are going to classify exocrine glands. So cellular mechanism of secretions, product of secretions, morphology. So we are going to classify it like this: merocrine, apocrine, and holocrine. So merocrine means secretion in duct. Secretion in duct is the commonest type. So you can see the secretory vessels are here, secretion duct is here, exocytosis of vesicles. So what they do is, the secretions are produced in vesicles and they are exocytes into this secretion duct, right? That is merocrine. Then the apocrine means rest is found. Parts of the cell with secretions are pinched off the cell. Not the vesicle, but parts of the cell are with secretions are pinched off the cells in this secretory duct. Then what next is done is cell in disintegrate and release secretions. The total cell, not only part of cell, the whole cell is shed and they release the secretion. So they are found in sebaceous glands. So this is a classification based on the product. You can see mucus, serous, mixed. So classification based on the product: mucus, serous, mixed. enzymes cyanogen granules in the serous acini stain strongly in H stain. So this is mucus serous mixed and this is sublingual salivary gland. So this is sublingual salivary gland and this is parotoid gland and pancreas and this is submandibular salivary glands. Uh, mucus serous mixed. Serous mixed and sublingual salivary gland. This is enzymes of cyanogen granules in the serous acini stain strongly in H&E stain, mucigan granules within mucus acini stain poorly in H&E stain. So you can see this enzyme of cyanogen granules in serous acini, they stain strongly, right? And then mucigan granules within mucus acini, they stain poorly. So this in mucus they stain poorly, in serous they stain strongly. In a mixed you can find there as a mixture of the strongly stained parts and less stained parts. So this is mucus is found in mucus is a product actually. So that they are found in sublingual salivary gland. Then parotoid gland in salivary glands also found. This serous type of glands. Even in pancreas also serous are found. In submandibular salivary gland you find this mixed. Okay. That's all about it. And classification based on the morphology of gland, we find the duct and the secretory parts. So based on the morphology of the duct can be either simple or compound. Simple is simple and it's not branched. Compound is branched. Based on the morphology of secretory portion, that is this part, they can be tubular or acinar. So tubular or acino-alveolar. So the glandular portion can be branched or coiled. The glandular portion also that can give out several two types, branched or coiled. So now let's go and see. So there are several types of glands based on their morphology. So the glands can be the simple or compound according to the duct. So that is branched and unbranched. Simple ones we find tubular, coiled tubular, branched tubular, acinar and branched acinar. Tubular, coiled tubular, branched tubular, acinar, branched acinar, tubular, simple tubular. So yeah, we can find simple tubular, simple coiled tubular, simple branched tubular, simple acinar, simple branched acinar. So simple tubular is found in large intestines or colon. Simple coiled tubular is found in sweat glands. Simple branched tubular is found in stomach. Simple acinar is it's not given a place. Simple branched acinar is found in sebaceous glands. Compound branched tubular, compound acinar, compound tubular acinar. Compound branch tubular is found in duodenum. Compound acina is found in pancreas. Compound tubular acina is found in submandibular salivary gland. So you can see now. Let's try giving on the examples. So this is simple tubular. It's found in colon. Simple coil tubular. It's found in simple coil tubular is found in sweat glands. And then simple branch tubular. It's found in simple branch tubular found in I think stomach, right? Simple branched tubular found in stomach. Simple branched acina that's found in sebaceous gland. Simple branched acina, sorry, sebaceous gland. And then compound tubular acina is found in duodenum. And then this compound branch tubular is found in duodenum. And then compound acina found in pancreas. Compound acina is found in pancreas, and then compound tubular acina is found in submandibular gland. So these are important. Remember, so so simple tubular, it's not branched, it's just a tubule, and then simple coiled tubular, simple branched tubular, simple branched acina, So tubule is branched. The compound is the whole duct is branched. Okay, so then the goblet self modified columnar epithelial cells. So then the goblet cells means modified columnar epithelial cells produce and secrete mucus. Modified columnar epithelial cells. Modified columnar epithelial cells. They are epithelial cells with some modification to produce and secrete mucus. They are found in gastrointestinal and respiratory tract, mainly large intestine, trachea, and bronchi. You can find its structure. So you find microvilli in large intestines also. The secretory vesicles contain mucin, and then a rough endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus nucleus, narrow basal part with the nucleus, innervated goblet shape, apical broad area with aggregation of mucin granules. Apical broad area with aggregation of mucin granules. So you can see the histological diagram of them. There's these are the secretory vesicles. Microvilli are there like that. No, actually, this is the goblet cells. So this is some epithelium cells that contains goblet cells. These are for here. You can see it, right? Thank you for watching my video. Please put a comment below. Not to appreciate me, but just put some comment where I can improve myself. If there's some bad thing you find in my video, please mention that. Thank you.